Hey everybody, Pastor Jim here with your devotion for Thursday, April the 9th. This is Maundy Thursday of Holy Week 2020. I find myself in one of my favorite places in the world, and that is the sanctuary here at ILCC. Normally, with the light streaming in through the stained glass windows and the peace and quiet of this place, I find it very peaceful and encouraging. But today it's a little unsettling because we should have everything set up and ready to go for tonight's reenactment of the Last Supper for Maundy Thursday. We should have the tables in place. We should have everything laid out for the disciples, their robes and sandals and the staff and everything else that they would carry. And yet, instead of the hustle and bustle of everything leading up to tonight's service, it is peaceful and quiet and will remain so. However, we still will observe Maundy Thursday because it's a very important day on the Christian calendar. The words that Jesus imparts to his disciples in his discourse at the Last Supper, there is so much information there, and it's a powerful discourse. It's him saying, this is my last opportunity to make an impact and to teach my disciples who I expect them to be, who I am, and who my followers will be for generations to come. And of course, he starts it out by washing their feet as an example of him being a servant, him coming to serve and not to be served, which is what he called the disciples to do, what he calls us to do, that we are to serve others and not to worry about our needs being served. And that's the attitude that we should impart upon the world. And so there's just so many lessons that he shares through this discourse. And so it's so important that we observe it. And when I was a kid, I always wondered, what is this Maundy Thursday service? I don't get it. Is it Monday? Is it Thursday? Make up your mind. And later, as I got older, I realized it's not Monday. It is Maundy, M-A-U-N-D-Y. Maundy is translated from the Latin word of mandatum, or mandate, or commandment, order that I give you. And so if you go to court and you're mandated to do something, the judge isn't saying, pretty please, I would like you to do this if you feel like it. He's ordering you to do something. And so if the judge, he or she, orders you to fulfill that order, you don't have an option. It's something that you have to do to be in compliance. And in the course of the evening, Jesus says, a new commandment I give you, to love one another as I have loved you. It's the same thing. It's not a request. It's a commandment. It is a new commandment I give you. And it is something that we're to live by. Imagine what the world would be like if we lived in such a way that we were to serve and not be served, and we were to love one another as Jesus loved us. I know, it's kind of out there, but just imagine what that world would be like. But anyways, that's why we call it Maundy Thursday, because it was a mandate or commandment that we were given during the course of the Last Supper, and we should follow that and live that out. And so much more that he taught and shared as he instituted the Lord's Supper, as he broke the bread and he shared the cup for the first time, that we remember and observe here normally every Sunday in the sanctuary, and yet we haven't shared it together in a very long time. And I miss that. I really do. And I look forward to the day when we can share it together again here in the ILCC sanctuary and in the Lighthouse. So for tonight, what we'll have to do is a rebroadcast of a previous year's reenactment of the Last Supper. So we will broadcast that on the IndianLakeCommunityChurch.org website. We will put it on both the Indian Lake and the Lighthouse at Indian Lake Facebook pages, and of course on our YouTube channel, ILCC and the Lighthouse, if you follow that. You can follow it on any one of those platforms. You can watch, and you'll see the reenactment of the Last Supper. We'll do the biography and introduction of each disciple as they enter the upper room, as Jesus enters the upper room with the weight of the world on his shoulders and begins that final discourse to his disciples. And then the highlight of the service then is afterwards. Then we do share the Lord's Supper, the way that Jesus instituted it during that evening. But tonight we can't do it together, but we will again at some point. That is something I'm sure of. But for tonight, if you want to, I've thought about this and prayed about it, but if you want to, grab yourself a cracker and grape juice, or grab yourself a cracker and some water, or grab yourself something along that lines. And when we break the bread and we share the cup, and we do the words of institution over the Lord's Supper, partake at home. You know, we're not together physically, but we're together spiritually, because we're all in this together. We're all a part of the body of Christ, and we're all a part of his church. And so if that would bring you peace and joy, and you want to take communion in your home, and you want to do it by that method, then I encourage you to do so until we can do that together here. Originally, I thought, well, let's not do communion until we can all do it together, but we'll do it together at some point. But if you want to do it in your home this evening, then I encourage you to do so. So, anyways, that's your devotional for Maundy Thursday 2020, the most unusual Holy Week we've ever been a part of. It'll still be meaningful. It'll still be powerful because the tomb is still empty and Jesus is still risen. So, I will see you tomorrow on Good Friday. God bless you. Take care. I'll see you then.